bring you your next favorite band.
Sweet, that intro is my new favorite band. That's phenomenal. I'm so excited to be on.
Yeah. I heard a rumor that you might be able to play that song live today.
You heard correctly. Yes.
Excellent. So,
good enough for rock.
I don't know when I rock out here on your next favorite band and show.
and listen, it's going to be everybody's favorite band.
Phil, you weren't supposed to make me get all... God almighty,
But this
Phil.
is why we do it.
Like, seriously. I gotta gather myself. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Welcome to your next favorite band. That's both the show title and our promise to you. We here at Stereophilia Studio are tireless in our pursuit of finding incredible, genre-defiant artists who are either a hot up-and-coming band or a group that has been delivering for years.
Tonight we spend time talking about the American right and civic duty of voter registration and an upcoming event called Concerts for Democracy.
Each month, we will bring you live streams, audio podcasts, and perhaps even a live concert where you can listen to the stories and hear the music of artists personally curated by us based on what we feel will be worthy of your time. Be sure to subscribe and tune in to each episode because the possibilities are endless and you never know who will be your next favorite band.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Philip Reese.
And I'm your co-host, Kyle Edwards.
And you are listening to...
Your next favorite band.
That's right. And we have a guest co-host here, Kyle Edwards. Super honored to have you on. Founder,
Thank
owner,
you,
A True Love Story LLC, and Inkwell, a brand new venue in Allentown, which we'll be diving into in a little bit. But for the opening of the show here, you're a co-host here. So welcome to the show to you as well.
I really appreciate it. Love being on your show. Grateful to be back. And now I'm a co-host. I don't know what made you want to do that, but I'm grateful nonetheless.
No, you're an amazing individual, a wonderful artist, and a huge supporter of the community. So that'll be on full display as people hear more about what's going on with you and your businesses, as well as the event this weekend. But to start things off, happy October 1st.
I mean, time moves so much faster these days.
It sure does.
It's nuts.
Yeah, somebody pulled a lever and it actually got chillier out. The air conditioning isn't turning on anymore. That's lovely. But yeah, actually also our autumn tree is up. Christy, my wife, loves to decorate for the seasons, which I super appreciate. And we have a tree that goes up as of October 1st. And it's like a Halloween tree right now. And then it becomes a Thanksgiving tree, then a Christmas tree.
Clever.
It spends some time as January is a little bit of like a no man's land, becomes a Valentine's tree, and then Easter, and then it kind of goes away. So it's like 6 months that tree is out. But
wow. That's making great use of that tree.
It is.
January is my birthday month, so feel free to
me too.
make it a birthday.
Are we both Capricorns?
Capricorn. Yes.
Yes, I'm the 4th. What are you?
13th.
Nice.
My mom is the 3rd. So,
oh wow! How about that?
Yeah.
It's all right, sir. Capricorns for life.
Maybe.
So that's what we'll do. I'll put it in and say there's multiple people who have now requested it to be a birthday tree.
There we go.
I don't know what you would decorate that. That could get really bizarre, but. But yeah, so happy. It is autumn, right? It was just passed
officially.
In late September. So happy autumn, happy October. Pumpkin spice season, as many people have come to hate, but I still love it. No, so
I love it. I am. There's no change. I love maple. I love pumpkin spice lattes, and fall for me is my spirit season. My spirit comes alive.
So awesome.
I don't know. It just makes me happy. Really
me
does.
too. No, it's definitely a fave. I think especially for people who are in seasonal areas. So there are parts of the country that don't get a fall and winter. I don't know if they feel that same amount of energy here in September and October, but when you see those leaves changing and you feel that kind of crisp in the air, maybe throw a hoodie on. It's a really special time.
Yeah, I love it. Cardigans, sweaters, I love them.
Yeah, quarter zips, whatever.
There you go.
And also in honor of the changing season, I did pick up a little bit of a seasonal something. So apologies for the throat. Way better today. You're going to hear, we did do some pre-recorded interviews, and the one I did with Gina, which is going to come on later on, I sound horrific. So spoiler alert, you may want to, I chose to speak a whole lot less and let her talk more, and everyone's going to thank me for that in general, but especially today, because my voice back then was really bad, but today, just partially bad. Thank you all for tuning in. This is a special episode. Obviously, normally we bring on an artist and share their story, their music, and kind of dive into that. Today, we were presented, actually, both of us, Kyle and I, with a very special idea. There's the artist out of Manhattan who I've seen perform a couple times. Her name is Eljuri, and she had this idea. She's she calls herself an art-ivist. So an artist who's an activist, and she writes a lot of music about many different kind of like social themes. But recently she decided to capture all of that in voter rights, voter registration, making sure your voice is heard. So she kind of just brought forth this, she called it Concerts for Democracy, and she's already performed a bunch already, and a few more coming up, one here in Allentown. And Kyle was saying, yeah, let's bring that here to his venue called Inkwell. So today is a little bit built around simply just raising awareness about the importance of and power of the voting rights thing. So, Kyle, let's start with your business, your True Love Story business, your muralist. Let's talk about that. We'll get into Inkwell, and then we'll kind of pivot into this. But I just kind of wanted to make sure people knew why we're talking about, like, the background is about voting, and people see up in the corner there, your vote is your voice. I kind of wanted to talk about that on the front end here to people know that we're going to dive into this. And it's very cool. It's very nonpartisan. Don't worry about anything being any kind of soapbox moment or what have you. This is purely just making people aware of your rights as a voter, how to go get registered, how to make sure you understand who your candidates are. It's really just informational. And then it leads to an event that's happening this particular weekend in Allentown, but it is in other places, upstate New York, Philadelphia, Illinois. So even if you're not in the Lehigh Valley surrounding area, Eljuri might be bringing her Concerts for Democracy to a spot near you. And if you want it there, you can also ask for it. So anyway, Kyle Edwards, tell me where True Love Story LLC starts.
Sure. A True Love Story is, I guess, the umbrella company, if you will, art, apparel, and entertainment. Art, lately, large-scale murals are very popular for some time now, obviously.
Sure.
But, more specifically, locally here has become very popular. So,
yeah. And on a very large scale, you just did one that was like 3 stories by.
Yeah, it's actually the largest. It was 9,700 square feet, something along those lines. So it's actually one of the biggest pieces in the valley. So I've been fortunate enough to partner up with another phenomenal artist to get that done. It's murals have really taken off and have opened up a lot of doors for me. And I've sort of been doing the art thing behind the scenes for some time, but now I've had the opportunity to do things on more of a public stage.
Sure.
I've linked up with some phenomenal folks to make things happen. And apparel. I have an e-commerce apparel line. True Love Story, actually rocking one of the tees
nice.
Right now. Part of the Note to Self series. It's a long-winded answer, but my story, a True Love Story, started after a tragedy. My sister passed away many years ago, 2012. I went through all the stages of grief, kind of got stuck in depression.
Yes, I wanted to mention that too. Like, obviously, came through mental health issues as well. Like, that's something we don't shy away from on this show, as you know. Like, we even met through our Listen to the Dissonance show, which is something where it's like, having a moment like that isn't something you should hide or feel shame for. It's something where help is available, and reach out and, have a foundation to help you through those moments, because they're only human.
Exactly. and it's it's one of those things that I didn't know how many resources were out there at that time, so I
Sure.
sort of just looked within and struggled through that period. And I wish I would have reached out for some help back then, but I'm grateful to still be here, obviously. But I had some
Mm-hmm.
dark thoughts, and my young father, I was a young father at the time, and having these dark thoughts, I'm like, I got to shake this. I got to be here for my
Sure.
kids. So I turned to art, and art, which was my first love. I was always that kid in the back of class doodling and not paying attention. I started painting on canvases, ran out of canvases, started painting on shirts, and really anything I could get my hands on, and put it on the gram, and people were digging it, and
Nice.
that sort of turned into an apparel line. And then fast forward, I got tired of waiting on somebody to give me a shot. I hosted my first event in 2019. It was packed. It was a great experience. Then of course COVID happened, put a pin in things.
Right.
So yeah, it really has just sort of taken on, a life of its own. And, I tell people all the time, and I'm half joking, I still don't know what I'm doing. But all of these pieces and people such as yourself are really starting to connect, and which gives me solace knowing that I'm on the right path. I'm heading in the right direction. It's got to be persistent,
Sure.
patient.
Well, you have this beautiful way too of, again, that's almost like this very honest thing of, you don't know what you're doing. A lot of other people don't either. They just don't admit it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a sign of failure or shame to say you don't know. What you're doing is you're just acknowledging that, like, hey, I've got my piece. There's these other parts of it that I don't know. And you're willing to invite these other people in to kind of take the reins and run with it.
Exactly.
And that's a whole lot of, again, trust and, strength of yours to say, I'm willing to let that happen. And it's making this new space, Inkwell, really special, because it's becoming not fully artist led, because it's definitely your space, but it's like there's elements of it that for tonight you can run with this, and then tomorrow we're gonna erase the board and it's somebody else's turn.
Start all over again. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so it's a very special, very cool place. So let's talk about Inkwell.
Sure. Inkwell is, the extension of a true love story. It's the brick and mortar. So much of, you kind of hit the nail on the head with that. It's a shared creative space, right? So, being honest and open with the fact that I don't have all the ideas, I don't know everything,
Sure.
is really freeing for me and provides strength, because then I know I can focus on what I am good at. And what I think I am good at is working with the right people and elevating what they're doing so well.
Sure.
So Inkwell is that platform for people to do their thing and get that support, create that community. We quite literally have a permanent stage when you walk in, and then sometimes the floor becomes the stage, and we just kind of go with the flow. But we've had a number of phenomenal events, and that's why this show this Saturday is so much in alignment with what we stand for as a business, as a creative space, because we are cultivating such a powerful community.
And as someone who attends art, whether that's theater, concerts, art galleries, whatever, when you walk into a space that gets it, like you can just feel it. And when you walk into Inkwell, that's the way it feels. So I encourage people to check it out. If it hasn't happened to be this particular Saturday, some other time, pop down there, either attend an event or even there's a lot of times it's just open. Like you can just walk in, there's art on the walls. There's just good things, good vibes going on there. So get to know Inkwell. One thing we should point out too, you're originally from Allentown. So this is you like coming back home to your roots and reestablishing yourself within the community that you grew up in.
100%. I knew that if I crossed that bridge, when I crossed that bridge to eventually open up space, whatever that looked like, because I didn't have an idea in my mind's eye until I took that first step. But I knew I would come back home to do that. Yeah,
for sure. So let's bring up your site. This is going to jump straight to Inkwell because I want to be able to kind of show people kind of like what's going on. Actually, this is the true love story. So there you had talked about art, apparel, and entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Here's some of the different shirts that are available. But I did want to jump to events because that's the Inkwell side of things. Because that leads us into Saturday. But what I wanted to kind of show first was the sheer volume of variety of what's going on. So you can see there's open mic, there's comedy, there's music, there's fine dining, there's trivia. So there's a lot going on here that people in and around Allentown need to get to be familiar with, because this is a special thing that's going on. And you can also see things from free to, affordable to still affordable, but like you need to get to know the fact that $120 gets you a very special experience when it's this fine dining experience. So don't let the ticket price throw you off. Get to know what that event is all about. But let's jump into the Eljuri concert, because here it is, Concerts for Democracy, live at Inkwell. And it's free. That's the first thing we want to point out. This particular event is free, and it's purely just talking about, pardon me, trying to be this nonpartisan advocacy for, again, voter registration. Part of the event is the organization head count will be there. So if you're not registered or you want to confirm whether you are or aren't, they will be there to do that for you.
Yeah.
But Kyle, talk about how this kind of came to be. Eljuri reached out and just seemed to be, like you had said, a total perfect merge of what you're hoping this space to be, as well as what she was trying to accomplish.
Yeah, I have to, credit you with that, Phil. I mean, you always throw incredible folks my way, and this was no different. I know Eljuri had reached out to you, and you connected us, and we kind of ran with it from there. But all credit goes to you for connecting the dots, and I just happen to be willing to.
Oh, you say that
life.
to all the boys.
Yeah, no, we before I forget, I do need to update that website. We have 16 events going on this month.
Sure.
So I appreciate you pointing out the variety, but we have so much going on this month that folks can't make it out Saturday.
Yeah,
Please
you just
pop in at
posted on
some point.
Instagram what's happening through the entire month of October. So people should also follow the Instagram as well, because there's lots of great announcements there. Because we have a very exciting announcement for Saturday that just fell into place today. We're going to talk about it after the Eljuri interview that we're going to play in a second. But we have really exciting news for Saturday that just made it, even took it up a notch. We turned it up to 11. But we'll get into that in a second. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, the Eljuri, after I met with her and her team via Zoom, I knew right away I had to have them. So I opened up my doors and more than welcome their brand of music and what they stand for, and being an art-ivist and trying to get out good information and really just good vibes. That's what it's all about. We just want people to come out and have fun. Like you said, nonpartisan. We have no agenda other than having a good time and educating people along the way. So everything was right in alignment with what Inkwell stands for, because our slogan is "All are welcome to the well," and this is no different.
Absolutely. Yeah. So both all ideologies would be welcome to stop down. It's not about any one vision or party. In fact, we hope to erase that and turn it more into a bunch of Americans from the Lehigh Valley coming together to celebrate community.
That's all that matters.
And respectful, political conversation. If people want to get into that, if they just want to enjoy the music, that's there. What else is going on? We have food trucks, we have art exhibits, we have lots of other cool stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to make sure Muriel Stockdale, wonderful woman that, again, I was connected with from Eljuri. She has this E Pluribus art exhibit that it's making its way to Inkwell. So we'll be putting it up this week. So that'll be on display.
Fantastic.
Perfect backdrop for what's going on
Absolutely.
Saturday. She uses various forms of textiles and other found items to create American flags.
Awesome.
And by doing so, symbolizing how the U.S. is a melting pot and all ethnicities. It's just beautiful, beautiful work. So I don't want to say the wrong things. You got to come and see it.
That's right.
It's worth the trip. That alone is worth the trip.
Sure.
But
and once again, free.
Free.
Once again, free. You can come in and see that. So whether you want the music or not, that kind of, all of this is just our ability to celebrate.
We'll have Uno Taqueria will be pulling up right out front. So they'll be slinging tacos and other phenomenal foods. And we also have I have a new partnership with county seat distillery, so we will have adult beverages and non-alcoholic options available for purchase as well. So we have everything you could possibly need to have a great night.
Fantastic. And one more thing, since everywhere in the Lehigh Valley, whether it's Bethlehem, Easton, or Allentown, struggles with parking, but you've come up with a solution here for Inkwell.
I did. We had our very first event, and I overheard someone saying something about parking. I knew it was going to come up, so that for me, it doesn't take much for me to use an opportunity as confirmation. So me overhearing that, I felt like I was supposed to overhear that. So what I did was just took a walk up to the local bank, which is literally just steps away from Inkwell, and paid the manager a visit and asked if we can use their parking lot during off hours. And they agreed that that was not an issue. So yeah, we have free parking available, which is, very big.
Kind of unheard of.
Yeah.
So that bank name is what's their name?
Truist Bank. So it's
a
right there
Truist
in the
Bank.
corner.
So if
Correct.
you put in the Truist Bank right near the same address as Inkwell, put that in for your GPS, park there, and like you said, you'll be steps
Walk
away.
on down. Yep.
I keep trying to get to that mute in time.
You did good.
So in honor of my voice, and also the fact that people are now wanting to get to know Eljuri, we spent a little bit of time with her to kind of share a little bit more about her backstory real quick. She's been on the show before, so if you're so inclined after you watch this that you want to learn more about Eljuri, Your Next Favorite Band has interviews, even in fact, back in the early days when it was with Lehigh Valley with Love and George Wacker. She was one of our very first interviews ever. So we have interviews under that banner. She's come on during Music Fest while we did like the Godfrey Daniels kind of quicker interviews during Music Fest. And also has come on. She has songs like we talked about various different themes. One of them is about climate change. So she came on during our No Planet B Jamboree to share that song and talk about that passion. But so there's lots of Eljuri content out there. So today is much more about this Concerts for Democracy, but we do give a little bit of a backstory. So anyway, take a listen to our interview with Eljuri.
Joining us now is the inspiration and creator of this whole event of Concerts for Democracy. Welcome to the show, Eljuri.
Oh my God, it's great to be here, Phil. It's a very critical year, and so we're launching this whole concert series, Eljuri Concerts for Democracy, and we're very, very excited. We've already had a couple of events already, one in Chicago and one in upstate New York.
Yeah. And we're definitely going to get into all that. But right now, what we've got kind of playing in the underground here is your brand new single, a nice little dance version of one of your great hits.
Yes, we connected with a Peruvian band called Nova Lima, and we we fell in love with each other, and we wanted to launch a new single that makes sense for this concert series. And
Sure.
of course, it's about using your voice. So we thought a dance remix of the song would be great. It was just released a couple of weeks ago. So
That's so great.
hot off the presses.
Yeah. And I heard too, like I was reading up on it a little bit, where like there's very much a DJ culture there, where it leads into the nightlife and the dancing and the dance of the culture. I mean, like it's such a different thing than maybe what most of us have here, and it's a powerful voice that they have right through all of that.
Yeah, I didn't grow up in Ecuador, but Ecuador is where I was born, and Peru is right next door. And when growing up, I'd go to Ecuador. My cousins, all the male cousins, danced incredibly well.
Right.
And then I come back to New York, and it was like a lot of guys weren't dancing. It was
Right.
very culturally different. But now I think it's pretty dancing.
It's getting better.
Is pretty great.
Yeah. And that's for maybe some people who aren't as familiar with your music, even though you've been on our show a bunch of times and you're very well known. Let's just kind of take it back a little bit. Like you had said, born in Ecuador, raised in Manhattan. I always love this phrase that you taught me, a Latin from Manhattan.
I am a Latin from Manhattan. That's right.
And kind of went through the punk scene almost, like, and yeah, and you know, a total rock and roller, and through the years have just really grabbed your voice and used your music to really kind of express awareness and concern for things in society, even, again, taking on the title of art-ivist, where it's an activist artist kind of thing, and it's just so inspiring and wonderful. So I wanted to give you a moment to kind of just talk about your history, and before we get to kind of what this is about, like just that backstory of how you got to here.
I really appreciate that. I did grow up in New York City, and the music scene was hopping here, and it was a great scene, and so I embraced that, and that's where my rock, reggae, punk, and all those influences happened. But at home, we were listening to Afro-Cuban music and rumba flamenco and pasillos, and you know, all this music my parents listened to. My mother's a musician and my father's an actor, so they were really creative blend. But then I was like, looked up to all those CBGB's bands, and so I be, you know, a rocker and had a lot of bands. And then I went solo, and kind of the fusion of both those influences became my sound.
Sure.
As a solo artist, yes, and Hootie for albums later, here we are.
Yeah, and I think there was this wonderful crossroads moment where you wanted to sing more in Spanish, and here came a label that wanted you to sing more in Spanish.
Yes, it was like, and I realized that the songs dictate which language is better suited for when I'm writing. So it's just a great language to sing in, and you know, I've been called a rock star humanitarian. So there's that, you know, socially conscious stuff that I have to sing about. It just comes out. I look at Bob Marley, I look at Marvin Gaye, I look at Bob Dylan. The great examples of heroes that, you know, have done that before me. So I'm thrilled to use my voice in that way too.
Yeah, and I think, you know, one thing I was always like almost overwhelmed on your behalf of how many extremely important topics you picked up, because there's coming back from war with PTSD and drug abuse and gun violence, which we'll get into a little bit more because we want to feature that song. There's refugees, there's saving the planet. Like, there's all these things that are also important. And then you came up with this brilliant idea to say, hey, listen, whatever one of these topics, whatever one of these, you know, issues might be important to one of these audience members, the most important thing they could do is vote.
Exactly. I really want to inspire people to use their voice for things that matter to them, and to seek representation or be the representative. Yeah. You know,
that's right.
Really, that would be great. I mean, the Latino community is just part of the people I'm trying to reach, of course, not, you know, because I sing in English and Spanish, and I'm in the US. But like you said, we decided, because I have a whole team that is very supportive, we decided to focus on the US this year, because what better way to use your voice than through your vote, the vote, and in this very critical year where democracy is at stake.
Sure. No, it certainly is. And you've taken a very non-partisan, approach to this. Yep. So no one should feel like this is any one-sided thing. It's purely just the encouragement for people to make sure they're registered. And if you're not, very easy ways to get there. Part of your events, you can do it there. And if maybe you can't make it to one of the concerts for democracy, we'll share in our notes the different ways that you can do it. The deadlines are different by state, so knowing that. And then the next step of those issues that are important to you, know your candidates. Like, don't just vote party line, or don't just understand where each candidate stands on these various issues. It might be neither of them, or the one you maybe weren't thinking. So really getting to know your candidates, and then knowing your polling place, because sometimes it's not the one you thought it was. It might have changed from last time. So like really just doing all your kind of front end work to make sure that none of that gets in the way of you having your vote be cast.
Exacto. And empower yourself and know that every voice does count. Tu voz es tu poder. Your voice is your power. And there's a lot of elections that we're talking about how to use your voice. It's local level, at the state level, at the federal level, and I came from South America, where there's a lot of political instability. So I recognize how valuable it is to have how valuable our democracy is in this country. So I really highly respect that. I'm an immigrant, so I did become a citizen driven by the passion to vote. So
Sure, absolutely.
we're going to have registration materials at all our events in English and Spanish, which like you said is really important, and hopefully answer any questions and encourage people to use their great voices.
Absolutely. So you had put together this really cool short video of what Concerts for Democracy is all about and what what people can expect. So let's let this kind of tell some of the story as well.
Cool. Hola, my name is Cecilia Villar Eljuri. As an artist, I'm known as Eljuri. I'm a singer, songwriter, guitarist, and activist. My music is a blend of Latin, reggae, global fusions with rock and funk. I was born in Guayaquil, Ecuador, in South America, and raised in New York City, so my music is a reflection of all of that. My lyrics are socially conscious about finding and using your voice and fighting for civil liberties, fighting against injustices. With this very important election year in 2024, I launched this concert series called Eljuri Concerts for Democracy, Amplifying Voices for Social Change. It's a live concert series of me with my power trio, and we're performing free concerts throughout the U.S. And at each concert, we're going to have a registration table so people can find registration materials for voting in English and in Spanish. We have partnered with wonderful national voting organizations, in particular headcount.org, that will be present at all the concerts with all these incredible materials, answering questions that you might have. And then this is the way to use your voice this year. Tu voz es tu poder. It's particularly important where democracy is truly at stake. I really believe that. And everybody has the power to vote. We just want to make it more accessible and inspire people through the gathering of music and sharing that energy and positivity. Eljuri Conciertos por la Democracia, amplificando voces para cambio social.
Such a great video to kind of give people the sense of what's happening there. Thank you so much for putting that together. And I think some of that video is stuff that I captured at Music Fest.
I think so too.
So yes, I'm honored to have that in there.
My attachment to Bethlehem, it's such a great community there, and you feel empower. You do feel the power of music connecting everybody.
Totally.
It's an international language.
Yeah, for sure. So where did so again, it might be just as simple as, well, duh, that's the most important thing. But like, where did the inspiration come to maybe pull this together and make it about voting and voter registration?
I just felt early on in the year, we went to Europe last year and toured, and then I was like, oh, it's time to maybe write a new record. But then I was like, always as usual, it's discussions, it's news forums and everything else that inspire my songs or this idea. So then there's a group of us got together and I was like, wait a minute, maybe we can get develop this whole plan. We'll get partners with organizations, we'll get partners with voting orgs, with supportive organizations for like the communities at a community level, and we'll get presenters who are interested in engaging in this concept. And then it just came together in like January, February, and we just got a bunch of volunteers, and we've been meeting regularly.
Sure.
Support the effort. It's not just Monoville Records, but extends beyond that. And
That's
these
so cool.
we develop partners who, with Head Count, Spread the Vote, Every Vote Counts. These are voting organizations, and then we connected with important local community organizations like A True Love Story and Inkwell and Allentown and Círculo de la Hispanidad that we're doing a show this Saturday at, and we just played up at Latinx festival in Chicago.
Yes, that's right.
It's like it was amazing how many people really thought, oh, this is a good idea. Bring the registration materials to the people through the power of music. Yeah,
and encourage them to. There's a lot of people who maybe don't think their voice is going to be heard, so maybe they just need that little bit of encouragement to say, no, this is a big deal.
Yes.
And if language was the barrier, you're breaking that one down too. So I think that's really admirable for you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Mil gracias.
But
I know that the Latino community can be feel marginalized and not feel empowered. So I thought, how can I use my voice, my bilingual voice, towards greater good for change? And that's part of the Eljuri Concerts for Democracy, amplificando voces para cambios sociales, amplifying voices for social change. So it's
yeah.
whole thing. Yeah.
So let's bring in a little bit of your music so that people again can kind of get a flavor for that. Once again, you mentioned it in there. We haven't said it here yet, but we've said it throughout the evening. It's a free show. So on Saturday, October the 5th, you've heard it a lot tonight, at Inkwell in downtown Allentown. And the parking is not an issue here. Kyle's done a great job about making sure to navigate that. So let's make parking an issue. Let's make so many people come down that
That's right.
that we have to find places to park. But anyway, it's going to be a great night, and it is a free show. And so let's give people
1125 Hamilton Street is
yes.
Inkwell, and Kyle. We're like really connecting, and we're through music and art. We're going to have an amazing event.
Absolutely. So let's bring in some of your music. They can hear that, and then this particular song, I want you to lead, maybe give it a little bit of an intro. It's called "Bang Bang," and it is about the gun violence topic in this country. Yeah,
the gun violence crisis is a big deal. And I wrote this song in like 2015, 2016. We released it with my album. And it's really about how we need to shed light on the topic. And at the time, it was a crisis. And now it continues to be a mounting crisis.
Somehow we keep
gun violence
going backwards on this one.
So,
but here, let's let this song play out a little bit. Then I'll bring it down and we can talk over it. But what I love about this one is it also gets people to see how you just shred the guitar. So
thank you. And it's my reggae influence.
Absolutely, yeah. So here's "Bang Bang" by Eljuri.
Que no tengo el privilegio de la seguridad en la noche oscuridad con la luna llena de claridad, claridad, claridad. Somebody yelling, don't shoot me. Bang, bang. Somebody yelling, too many yelling. Bang, bang. Shoot 'em up. Somebody yelling, don't shoot. Bang, bang. No tengo armas para defenderme. No tengo armas para ofrecerle. No tengo armas. Bang, bang. Shoot 'em up. Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Shoot 'em up.
So this again is like you were saying, it's that bilingual is on display here. Again, like we said, this might be the most important topic for you. It might be a different one, but not only all the issues are out there, you have other songs that address these other issues. The important thing here is there's probably something that you're passionate about. Figure that out, figure out what candidates support that, and vote for that person. Like that's really what the spirit of this event is about.
Exactly. That's
So we should also mention Alex Alexander on the drums here is just such an incredible drummer. His goofiness is on display in that other video, which I love. Having had the honor to meet him and you and such at like after shows and whatnot. You're going to be there at this event and the Power Trio. This is not the bassist, but you're there too to also be accessible to the people who are there that evening.
Absolutely. I'm a headcount ambassador, so the whole goal is really to take the fear away, or the confusion away, or like you said, hopefully inspire people or get clarity on whether you're even registered and make it fun.
Yeah. Because
using your voice should be fun and uplifting, and at the same time, we are really hopefully tackling a very critical issue of democracy.
Yeah, I think the evening should feel like a celebration of the community. Like it really should feel that way, where even if there isn't necessarily complete agreement on who the right candidates are, that's okay. Like as long as we're respectful and meeting, compromising in the middle and whatnot. Like I think it's what it's going to be all about.
Exactly. Like stop the polarization. We're reversing the polarization that we're feeling in this country.
Right.
And embracing the fact that we are made different, but like you said, seek representation, because everybody you elect votes for you. I mean, works for you.
Right.
That's what people have to remember. We're hiring these people to do their jobs. So.
Right. And also, I think the other part too is that the Kyle has this expression for that that space is all are welcome at the well. So this isn't about anyone's perspective or ideology. This is about community coming together and being Americans first, rather than one label or another. Like,
yeah, it was like we really clicked and connected when we were talking about the community there and that whole part of Allentown and everything.
Yep.
You know, and it just was like a runaway train. We were like, we're doing this, you know, and I'm grateful actually to you and your team for making it all helping us make it happen too.
Oh, the least I could do is connect two amazing people to do all the amazing stuff. That's the easy one. You are all doing, amazing stuff on within Allentown and you everywhere. But I'm going to bring in you.
At that show, it's me, Eljuri, and Alex Alexander on drums, and Winston Roy on bass, who's now been with me for like 8 years or something. So he's on the last album, the entire album, Reflexion, and he's a great player. He's great. It
is. Yeah, it's going to be. The music is amazing. The theming is amazing. Definitely come down. From what I hear, there's going to be food trucks. So again, it's going to be this really special thing, all free, and just come down and enjoy that, and if nothing else, be part of that community, and learn how to. I'm going to bring in your Elvaz so that we can. First of all, get a little dancier beat on here at the end. And what else can we promote? Like, where else is this show going?
To get a better sense of the tour, all the tour dates, you can go to eljurimusic.com /tour, the tour tab under Eljuri Music, ELJURISIC.com. That's where. And actually join the mailing list or whatever you want to do to keep in touch with.
Totally. Yeah, because obviously this is this moment in time, but the concerts and the music and the passion is there forever. So like even after October and voting happens in November, still follow Eljuri because it's amazing music and you'll be passionate about another social topic.
We love playing in Bethlehem and Allentown. We love that whole community. We've had a couple of years of playing it and Steel Stacks and Music Fest, and really the people are amazing, and it all boils down to people.
Yep.
So.
Well, Eljuri, thank you for all that you're doing for this. Thank you for coming on the show tonight, and can't wait to see you perform this weekend.
Thanks for having me on. You're the best.
No, you're the best.
No, you are. Peace.
So there you have Eljuri performing this weekend, Concerts for Democracy at Inkwell and elsewhere beyond that date, but focusing on here. So Kyle, what did you think of the interview with Eljuri?
Every time I interact with her, I always tell her at the end, I can't wait to hug her.
Yeah.
This I feel the same way. I can't wait to hug her. She's just so cool, and
right.
She's a rock star for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, hopefully it was on display there a little bit. We're going to play a little more music from her, like an absolute rock and roll star, shredding the guitar, and hopefully breaking down barriers just in her music on, things like, a female lead and rock and roll guitar and stuff like just breaking down that barrier for decades. And then now helping with other aspects like whether it's voter registration or gun violence or what have you. Like
we touched on language too. I think that's very important.
A bilingual, just ambassador. So like she so honored to have just simply been within her orbit, let alone get to know her. So she's a special person and people should want to come down even just to kind of like experience her aura, let alone her music and this other stuff she's putting on.
Can you imagine that sound at Inkwell? I mean, it's
right,
it's
right, exactly.
So cool, man.
And we talked about it a little bit. Alex Alexander on drums is like world renowned. Like he is a stunning drummer. He does a really cool like solo bit that I hope they do. They may not because of the night, but he does some amazing like solo drum stuff where he gets the crowd involved. And then Winston, the bassist, is phenomenal too. So super power trio for sure. And here's like a proof of it. So Emily Drinker, who's a stunning artist out of Philadelphia, she's been on the show as well. She's tuned in tonight and she says, super awesome. This is so important to me as an artist. Thank you for doing this work, Eljuri. So like it's already happening. Like she's pulling together people, musicians, artists, basic everyday people who just simply, just want to be part of something this special, this important. So hop on the train. It's really going to be a really cool day. So Emily, I hope you're able to make it. There's a show at Milk Boy, which is down in Philly, on the 8th. So the 5th, this Saturday in Allentown, the 8th in Philly. And then there's more dates to follow. But yeah, so very, very cool stuff there. In addition to Eljuri, who obviously shreds the guitar, I figure right now would be a good time to make our special announcement of who we just added to the lineup, like 2 hours ago?
Yeah, if that. Yeah.
But like this was the thing is like we had been saying, hey, let's talk about maybe adding another artist or musician, but it had to be the right one. Like Eljuri is big enough deal by herself. It didn't need it, but if there was the right one that fit, let's do it. And it happened today. So why don't you go ahead and do the honors?
Greg Sover. Can't wait to have him perform on our stage, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing how all the pieces are connecting. It's nuts.
Absolutely. So Greg Sover, Philly-based blues man, one of the best guitarists I've ever seen. The child, her parent was Haitian immigrants. Came to, I think, Philadelphia first, or no, Manhattan first, and then Philly. But anyway, just like came to this country not speaking English, and so just such that perfect American dream story of coming here with nothing, piecing it together, working hard, and making it happen. And now he's a stunning, absolutely brilliant blues musician. So we have some music here, but anything else you want to share about Greg Sover?
They're just, like I think you touched on his story and the fact that he's going to be performing for Concerts for Democracy. It's just an incredible, culmination of everything, and it's going to be incredible. Really
totally.
Looking forward to this.
So here's like I found this video on his channel. It's just highlights of him ripping guitar. So enjoy some absolutely amazing music from Greg Sover.
Let's get right into it.
This down, but keep it playing in the background. Kyle, I mean, like, isn't that amazing guitar on display right there?
I mean, that's in my headphones, and I feel like my head's gonna explode. It's Saturday. I mean, it's gonna be nuts, man. It's gonna be nuts.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
And like I said, we had the honor of interviewing him back in July. So if you want a more deeper dive into his backstory, it's an amazingly inspiring story, again, about what he's come through. And look at this. I mean, just insane neck guitar solo.
Come
I mean,
on.
just, right? Stupid. Just dumb. And he'll be solo.
Goodness.
Right. He's solo on Saturday. So it's going to be a full-on display of his guitar just excellence. But you're working with him and his team to book him, to bring him in as a full band act later in the year.
Yes, that's correct. So, yeah, we are just more than thrilled. I mean, this video alone, I mean, my goodness. But yes, we're working. I'm sorry, I keep getting distracted, but we're working to
Rightfully so.
court. Yeah, we're coordinating all the details now. But yes, that will happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those of you who don't know Greg Silver, come down to get a little bit of like an appetizer before you get the full meal for a future date in Inkwell. But he is so good. So good. Yeah, so there is Greg Silver.
Jeez Louise.
Kyle, I am getting pumped for this.
You and me both, man. I mean, always love talking to you, but this has got me all ready to go.
Completely agree. No one wants to talk to me. They want to talk to the musicians and listen to the music. That's all hopefully I'm just like simply just the doorman. Like I can open the door and let you through. That's all I ever try to be. But so another amazing artist. So Velvet Rouge, also interviewed them back in July. And I'm not trying to like brag about our show. I'm just more trying to point out like these are amazing musicians to go and learn about their amazing stories. Like these are just such great storytellers with amazingly inspiring stories and then phenomenal music. So here, another Philly-based artist, Velvet Rouge. The lead singer, songwriter, Gina Zoe, is awesome. Like she's just such a bundle of love and energy and fashion. Like she's all of that is amazing about her. And one of her passions is a same kind of thing, voter rights and voter registration. So I saw a post that she had done and I said, hey, we're doing this episode to lead into this event. She now is split between LA and Philly, so I knew she couldn't perform at the event, but I knew that she might want to speak to the topic, and she said, yes, I absolutely want to. So pre-recorded this interview with her. So you get, again, a little bit of peek in behind, like a little bit about their backstory, but more about her passion about this topic. So enjoy our chat with Gina Zoe of Velvet Rouge. And so that's how I found some of the older stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I used to just go by that. So that makes complete sense. Hey,
Right.
I love that you found the old things. It's funny, I do talk about it on a lot of interviews now as like a point of being like, yeah, I was on this podcast and he found, and now I get scared every time someone's like, I found some good stuff on you. And I was like, what do you mean? I'm scared.
I hope it's not the toilet seat thing.
Exactly. But you know, you were doing like a full deep dive and they're not really usually going as far back. Like they're not usually going to Gina Costanzo. They'll briefly touch on The Voice, but like they're not going too far.
Right. But that's what we do. That's what we do. So anybody who wants to check out the full deep dive interview that we're talking about here with Gina, it was only about 2 months ago. And so people can check that out. But we're here today to talk with Gina as her passionate advocate for voter rights and voter registration from excellent songwriter, amazing performer from the band Velvet Rouge.
Thank you.
Yeah. And on my end, apologies on the front end, a little bit of a sinus infection I'm getting over. We even had to delay this recording because I was laid out in bed for a little bit, but we couldn't put it off much longer. So apologies for The Voice. You were on The Voice. We'll talk more about you anyway.
Good transition.
And if I cough, I'll try to get to the mute. I'll try to get to the mute when I'm coughing, but if I don't, I apologize in advance. But let's start with how I learned about your passion was actually how I learned about this awesome t-shirt.
Oh, you have it on!
I have it on, the little Mr. Voter. And I have a picture here. This is from Instagram where you posted it. And it came with the tagline, my only birthday wish is that you register to vote. And then you included vote.gov. So let's talk about the shirt, how you found it. I thought it was amazing. I went and grabbed one. And just how you came across the desire to really promote people's right to vote, make sure they get registered, make sure they have their voice be heard.
Yeah, so the shirt and like everything for that, I performed at San Diego Pride. So San Diego Pride, obviously we know Pride Month is in June, but San Diego Pride is in July.
Sure. And actually, Lehigh Valley does it in August.
Oh, see, I didn't know people were doing, and then I thought about it, and I was like, well, there's only so many weekends in June, and not everyone wants to have it at the same time.
Sure. I think it's also the element of queer all year. Like, it's not, you're not just gay for 1 month, you know.
Precisely. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what some people think. But anyway, so I got invited to sing, and Equality California puts on this event alongside of the people of San Diego, the queer people of San Diego, the mayor, and all the people that come in to make the Pride events happen. And so I had been wanting to I've been wanting to take part in not only, voting, and that wasn't even on my mind at first when I was thinking about doing Pride work, but just being a part of Pride, and in any way that I could. There are some amazing, massive artists who also are in the community who take part of Los Angeles Pride. I'm so lucky that they even wanted me to be a part of it. So I was able to perform, but I saw the shirt you have on.
Yeah.
And at the event, they only had one, and it was a double XL. And they were like, do you want us to send you one? And I said, no, I'm buying the double XL. I just don't care. I need it that badly, and I need it right now.
Absolutely. And you can cut it sleeves off or whatever and rock it some other new way. Yeah.
It's so good. It's it's truly my favorite shirt.
Sure.
But then the whole thing regarding the voting. So since Donald Trump was elected, I was a freshman in college when he was elected in 2016. And I was really disappointed that year. Still managing to stay disappointed in the things that he says. But with that being said, when I heard he was going to be running again, it became even more important to me that I spoke up about the rights of people that he wants to bring down. And I want to iterate, this is not about him being Republican. I have plenty of beautiful, amazing Republican friends who support LGBT rights, who support trans rights, who even support abortion, especially in tough circumstances.
Sure.
And so it's not about that.
This event, this Concerts for Democracy, is nonpartisan in that it wants every American to be registered to vote. Exactly. But one of the elements of it is to know your candidate, to not just vote for a party line. And this goes for the whole ballot. Like, not just, you'll probably know where people stand at the top of the ticket. Yeah. But some of the most important stuff is the local stuff, the state and local township stuff. And to take a moment, the information is out there, to know which topics are the most important to yourself, and then go learn which candidates and where they stand, and then be open to you might be voting for the person that was on the other side of your maybe labeled. But I mean, the most important thing that we would want to do as a country is coming together. All of this, division and stuff is not really helpful at all. Compromise is the best way.
Totally.
And have done historically. It's more recent that we've decided to say 51% wins and 49% loses. Like, that's just kind of un-American in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, it's interesting because, of course, people say, actually, I'm going to pause for 1 second. There's going to be an ambulance going by me.
Sure, we can cut that too. I'll drink my
have your
Unity beverage.
There you go.
Way on brand today.
All right, he's by me now. Okay. And so I think what I find interesting, and I want to set as a reminder to everyone, is we do have the internet, while it can be awful in many ways, but the candidates, most of the time, I believe they both do, have on their website what they stand for, what policies they want to promote. And so when people say that they don't know Kamala's policies, Trump's policies, go to their website, go to don't just go to CNN or Fox News. Like, we don't need to even go to those websites. There are truly like organizations that put up there exactly what the policies are that the candidates are promoting.
And there are also fact-based websites too that are just purely stating truth.
Yeah, and
like
there's no
PolitiFact and stuff like that. There's some out there where you could go there and see what they've either said or stood for, and then whether it's a true statement or not, which I really like truth. I don't know why anybody wouldn't. Yeah. So actually, there's two sites I want to bring up since you're mentioning websites. One is Equality California. So that's this page here. You can come here again. Like, since we have listeners each different place, thought I'd point this out. But if you like the shirt, you can come here into their shop. And
I feel like I want to get more shirts now too.
Right?
They have a baby onesie.
Yes. So there's different shirts on Pride and that. But if you just want the voter shirt, it's right here. And MX, in case you didn't know, is basically trying to say Mr. or Mrs. at the same time. So you don't have to worry about it being gendered in either way. It's not trying to be non-gendered. It's trying to say it's all. So, so anyway, wear it with pride. And then the other one I wanted to bring up, because it was in your post, was about vote.gov. And that's a place where you can go to get registered. In the prior interview with Eljuri, we talked about headcount, because that's the organization that's a part of this event. But you can just come to vote.gov and learn all about how to register. Like, you can pick state and territory, just learn more about your voting rights. There's important things to know, like there's some purging going on. Because, like, let's say, I think it was recently in the state of North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. I saw
If you didn't vote in the last 2 elections or have moved even interstate, so you might have moved from such and such North Carolina to such and such North Carolina, you come off the rolls because you aren't a voter in that district anymore. And so the rule is you just get removed. So you need to confirm you're on the rolls to be able to vote. Now, even if you show up and you're not, you still get the right to a provisional ballot that you can cast your vote and have it counted during that post effort to make sure that everybody's voice was heard. Mm-hmm. So knowing your rights is huge. Like, it's amazing what happens, and some of it's intentionally trying to suppress, and sometimes it's just valid stuff that cleans things out rather than worry about it. Just make sure you're registered to vote. It's very easy to go do it at websites like vote.gov.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, there's always, of course, a room to argue and to say, well, why did they do that, and yada, yada. But I appreciate what you're saying of just go check.
Yeah.
It's almost like, you know what, people are going to be people. And in some ways, people have passed. I saw exactly what you're referencing. And I think there was a good amount of people who had legally died in North Carolina that had to be taken off. And, that is also important, of course.
Sure.
Like, that's why we have a census and all these different things that we have to make sure that we are staying on top of things. So just go check again. It's, I moved to California. I am going to be voting in California. So Pennsylvania, keep it up over there.
That's right. That's right.
Me. But I find it really important that I support my local government and what I'm now going to be having on today. And so, I registered in California. I'm still working on my driver's license. So if anyone here has moved, you don't have to have your driver's license in the area. I had to sign a paper and mail it to the government building or whatever it told me to mail it to, which takes a couple extra days. But luckily in California, you can pretty much, I don't want to say wait to register to vote until like the day of the election. But
don't do that.
Don't do that. I'm just saying you have a lot of time.
So
if you're concerned because you moved there or anything, just start now. Just start getting it done.
Yeah, we have basically a month. Any of those more political efforts to like stop suppression and stuff, let's wait until afterwards. Right now, just make sure every American's registered to vote, have your voice be heard, know your candidates. One thing we wanted to do, since it is a music show, is bring in music, but still tie it to all this. And you had mentioned part of your kind of important issues is the LGBTQ plus rights. And you have a song called Fakin' It, which was about you in that phase of figuring it out and coming out and realizing how important that was. And it's a wonderful song, so it's great to share. It also is great to perform. I mean, put on an example of your wonderful performance. This is from our local festival here back in August, Music Fest. And so enjoy this song. I'm going to lower it after a little bit so you can talk about it a little bit more. But it kind of speaks to, again, embrace your most passionate values and then know which candidates support those. But take a listen to Fakin' It by Velvet Rouge. Such a great performer. First thing, let's talk about the band. I mean, they are incredible. I was thoroughly enjoying this. The drummer, the guitarist, they've been with you throughout. And I just wanted to take a moment for you to point them out because they are incredible.
Yeah, no, but so Buddy and Joe have been in my band since I was pretty much Gina Costanzo. They are amazing, just incredible, always willing to try new things, to do something different, to stand up for the things that I believe in, such as a song.
Sure.
They kill it, so I have no notes for them. They are that good.
And then the dancing, the performance is nonstop. So this isn't just one song that she's doing this. This was a 90-minute set that she was on fire the whole time.
I don't know how I did it that day. Some days I'm tired and it's tough. And this day I had so much energy. I was like on a roll. It really depends on the day. I'm always performing for sure.
Sure.
But this day I had a massive amount of energy, a massive amount. You know what? I think it's because it was like kind of chilly out.
It was pouring and cold. It was the first time I ever wore jeans to Music Fest in its history. And I was drenched. If you remember, the rain started coming down right on top of the drum kit.
Yes. Oh, I can't forget that.
That was hilarious. Oh, and one other thing. Almost all of you, you're not really choreographed, right? You're just feeling the music.
Yeah, there's no choreography.
So I don't know if you noticed. Well, I just meant, the reason why I'm asking is there was probably a 11-ish year old girl in the front left house, like basically to your right. I don't know if you saw her.
Yeah, I saw her.
She was like imitating your moves and like looking at her own arms and making sure they matched yours. And I just think to that same point, how influential and how, you were inspiring her to think, wait, I could do that. And if then also that's a 14 to 16-year-old figuring out their own sexuality, songs like this are that important as well. So, like, that's why these are big deals.
Totally.
And so you embracing that and being so brave enough as to put it out there as a song is pretty tremendous.
Thank you. Yeah, it definitely was a song it was definitely scary to put out this song at first because no one really, I mean, my family and friends knew that I was bisexual, but they only knew for like 6 months. Like this was like a new revelation in my life. So it was definitely something still new to me, but that I was like, I really want to share it. It feels the most authentic for me to share it as a song.
Sure.
And I think it also, like, I think the whole thing about Faking It, the song, is that it's really not just about you being gay or not gay, or it's really about anything that you feel like
being
you're
genuine, being your genuine self.
Yeah, totally.
That
it's
is
about
true.
who you are.
Yeah, that is very true. I mean, through this, effort of meeting musicians and so on, and some people are out and proud and others prefer to be more private about it. Same with non-musicians. I'm more getting at the point of someone who is out and proud still makes somebody who's quiet about it comfortable and safer. So like, even if somebody isn't more inspired to be out, it's still touching them in a way that it's like, okay, I feel a little bit more safe in this space.
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
I think, again, it's huge.
They notice, like, everyone will take, of course, what they want to take from it. Frankly, if you're not in the community, you might not even really notice that it's a song about being.
I wouldn't. Yeah, no, it's not that in your face.
Yeah, and that was kind of, I guess, my intention. I wanted people, of course, the people that are in the community, to feel like this song is for them. But also, if you're not, like, it's still a song for you to express, like we've just been saying. Like, you should just be yourself. And I think that even, again, goes towards, like, the whole voting thing that we're doing right now, which is, giving your voice a chance.
Sure.
And again, no matter what side or thought you're on, it is your right to not fake who people think that you need to be. You are allowed to be yourself, and that is the whole point of the U.S.
That's exactly right, and that's a great place to finish right there. Gina, thank you so much for joining us on such a busy schedule for you. You're releasing an album. You're in the East Coast, the West Coast. You're releasing even more new music.
It's been insane.
You're at Fashion Week. You're dressing up fantastically. Like, people should watch your Instagram because it's such a great follow.
Thank you so much. I would love if you guys did. It's Velvet Rouge Band. I would be so grateful. And I don't just post music, like you said. I'm really, you'll catch me in all aspects. I just posted a photo of me as a child, which was simply hilarious.
Oh, it really was. That was, like I said in the comments, I was like, I wish we had this one for the interview, because it would have been so fun to talk about. We do talk about that guitar, though, in the interview.
We do. No, yes. We do.
And how fantastically amazing it was.
Oh my God. This is such a good photo. So yeah, go check it out, everyone.
Yeah. Check out the interview. Go register to vote. And definitely check out the Velvet Rouge's full catalog of music. It's all great stuff. Check them out if they are performing nearby. And hopefully we all see you this weekend, 10-5 for Concerts for Democracy. Gina, thank you again so much.
Thank you so much. It was great to chat.
Gina Zoe, Velvet Rouge, talking about her passions around the voting rights that we've been talking about here, voter registration, as well as her personal passions around LGBTQ rights. Kyle, what did you think of the talk with Gina?
Awesome. This show is called Your Next Favorite Band for a reason, buddy. You know how to pick them. No, she was honestly incredible. Great energy, like you said. I only wish I had a chance to meet her formally, but incredible.
And you absolutely can and probably will. I mean, she's still, even though she moved to LA, she's still very much connected to Philadelphia. So she'll be performing in and around this area. And she was at Music Fest, as you saw. That was from the festival there. So got a taste for the Lehigh Valley's music scene, and once people get that, they keep coming back. So I'm almost certain that Velvet Rouge will come back up this way.
Fingers crossed, for sure.
For sure. So let's talk about the event on Saturday one more time. Why don't you run through some of the details one more time so people make sure they have it?
Sure. 10-5, that's this Saturday. Eljuri, Concerts for Democracy. This is a free event. That's capital F, free event.
Capital F-R-E-E.
Yeah. We will have a food truck on site serving up some great dishes. We have
that part's not free. Got to pay for the food.
No, got to pay for the food.
But that just supports a great. Yeah, exactly.
County seat will be there serving up some great drinks.
Nice.
We'll have some art on display from Muriel Stockdale, part of our E Pluribus series. So really honored to have that as the backdrop. And Greg Sover will be opening up for Eljuri. It's going to be one heck of a show, man. I'm eager. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, super pumped more than even before. Things start at 5, doors at 5. So that you can check out the music. You can get yourself some food or drink.
Yep.
Get ready for the music.
Get registered to vote. We'll have folks there helping out. Yep, helping people out. Get registered.
Yeah, headcount.org will be there. Other people will be around to chat with. It sounds like Eljuri and her band will be accessible before they go on, after they go on, which is also super cool. Just come down and be a part of a special
hang out
celebration of the community.
That's it. It's one of those things that I think once you come on in, you're not going to want to leave. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, and get to know Inkwell again more than just for what Saturday brings, like all that other stuff, like we talked about. Follow on Instagram. Definitely save the website so that you know what else is coming up. Great schedule. And anything else we can promote? Anything else going on? Obviously, the apparel. People should buy some T-shirts from you.
Buy some tees. Yeah, sure. No pressure. I'm going to wear them no matter what. But it's.
I'm wearing the voter one. The little.
I like
Mr.
that.
Or Mr. Voter. That's
I got to get me one of those.
Yeah, that's on that Equality California website that we talked about with. Gina was the one that introduced me to it. I will be wearing something different on Saturday, so if you want to have a good laugh, as people know who listen to the show, like T-shirts tend to tie into the theme of the day. So
awesome.
I've got something.
Awesome.
It's got something special for Saturday. So
one more thing I do want to mention. We should. I want to take a moment to give you your flowers, Philip. Just want to thank you again. You did a lot of the work behind the scenes to connect the dots, like I said, and can't thank you enough, buddy. You do great things, and people love you for good reason. You're a good guy, and I can't thank you enough.
Well, thank you. You didn't have to do that. Now I'm blushing.
Go drink some hot tea.
Listen, right, exactly. Yeah. I sounded like a giant bag of dicks in that other video. So I apologize to the listening public. Hopefully it came across like vocal fry at best, but it definitely sounded like I was about 4 steps away from death. I hopefully sound better today, but still not all the way there. Hopefully this weekend I'll feel a whole lot better. But we are going to play one more Eljuri song like we typically do after the credits of the show. We always play one more song. What we're going to play is a song of hers called Nunca Volveré, and it's about being a refugee. So again, about her various things. And again, just love showing just how much she absolutely rips the guitar. And it's another video from Music Fest. So I always also love putting our community on display.
Yes.
So this is from, I think it's from 2 or 3 years ago. But it's a wonderful version of an amazing song. But first, we're going to close things out. Kyle, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, brother. I can't thank you enough.
And I'll see you Saturday.
See you then.
All right, Phil, let's say goodbye to everybody.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Your Next Favorite Band. Would like to sincerely thank Kyle Edwards from A True Love Story LLC and Inkwell, as well as Eljuri and Gina Zoe of Velvet Rouge. We hope you check out all of their websites, all of their social medias. We'll link to it all in the show notes so that you have very easy access to it. But these are all people doing some amazing things, from Kyle doing murals and his venue putting on all sorts of amazing art and performance, as well as incredible music from Eljuri and advocacy for amazing, beautiful things. And Gina Zoe and Velvet Rouge putting on some stunning music. Lots of new stuff coming out from them. Please definitely check out our interviews with each one of these different people from prior in our catalog, and also their different offerings year round. And definitely, please, if you're anywhere near Allentown and you have Saturday free, 5 o'clock, a free show, Concerts for Democracy, you're going to love it. Like we talked about, in addition to music, there's art, there's food, there's drinks, good parking, all sorts of great stuff. So please come out for that. As always, our hope here is to bring in your next favorite band. So hopefully, whether it was Eljuri or Velvet Rouge, or here we have Blair Crimmins in the close. Lots of great music all over the place. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And lots of great stuff coming up here. A lot of great musicians that we've brought on, have scheduled to bring on off of Music Fest. So hope to see you at a live show soon, particularly this weekend. And stick around for one more song from Eljuri. You're going to love it. It is called Nunca Volveré. And hope to see you Saturday and beyond.
This is Nunca Volveré.